Hello and welcome to Void Electronics. In today's video I would like to show you how to use the delayed time base of your Tektronix oscilloscope in order to uncover hidden details of your signals. So let's get started. So the idea of this video came to me while I was playing with this circuit right here. This is a low distortion sine wave generator for testing audio amplifiers. It was built by a friend of mine and initially it looks like it works as advertised. However, after I play with it some more, I figured out that something could be wrong with it. I got some clues. And let me show you what those clues are and how I can investigate them. First of all, the trigger adjustment doesn't work properly. Now, this could happen on a cheap scope, but on a Tektronix scope, especially if you're feeding a basic signal like a sine wave, this shouldn't really happen. This is kind of strange. This scope has never done this before. And when the trigger doesn't work properly, that's usually because you have some sort of high frequency components in your signal that mess with the trigger circuit. So there is an easy fix to that because Tektronix people really thought of everything. So what you can do is you can set the trigger here to HF reject, which basically passes the trigger signal through a low pass filter. And now, as you can see, the trigger is rock solid once again. However, for a 1 kHz sine wave, this shouldn't be necessary, so this is kind of strange. So I thought we need to investigate this even more. If you take a closer look at this signal, you will probably notice that its width is inconsistent. So if you look at it here, I think that the line here is much thinner than it is right here, which is usually an indication that you have some sort of parasitic oscillation hiding in your signal. So to make this a bit more obvious, maybe we can play with the time base just a little bit. I think you can see it better now, and I know it could happen if you have a bad CRT, but if you know that your scope doesn't do this usually, then you're really looking at some sort of issue with the circuit you're probing into. And maybe this makes it even more obvious. And as you can see here, it is much thicker than it is right here, so it's something that happens on the falling edge of this signal, which is really strange. And maybe we can see it without the delayed time base by cranking the time base all the way up. However, things get pretty difficult if you do this. The trace gets really dim and you can barely see it, but we have a sine wave here at really high frequency. So yeah, we found some parasitic oscillations here. And here's where the delayed time base comes in. It basically allows us to zoom in on a specific part of our signal, and all this with analog electronics only, or mostly analog electronics. In order to demonstrate this, I'm running the scope pretty much as slow as it can go, and as you can see we have a regular sweep right now. So let's enable the B time base and see how it works. To do this on a Tektronix scope you have to pull this knob, and now it says the secondary time base, while leaving the first time base at the initial setting, of course. And as you can see, for now nothing happens, and that's because we also have to enable it. And to do this, we can enable it in multiple modes, and we could start with the mix mode. After we do this, as you can see, the scope starts at the initial sweep speed, and then it switches to the secondary time base after a certain delay. And we made the secondary time base to be much faster than the initial one, which can be clearly seen on this trace. Now the delay between the start of the A sweep and the start of the B sweep can be set using this knob. We can really decrease it, and it should start early on, or we can increase it a lot and it should start much later. Now let's run it a lot faster and see how it helps to uncover hidden details in our signals. To make it faster, we can lock the knobs once again, make the time base A faster, and once we get to a reasonable speed, I can pull this knob once again and make the time base B faster, a lot faster, so that we can zoom in on our signal. And maybe we need to increase the intensity just a bit so that we can see the delayed part of it better. And by going to this part of the signal, maybe we can see that we get a relatively fat trace. which is an indication that we have some oscillations in here. At this point it's really hard to see them because the secondary time base is not triggered, so it's simply delayed, which means that it doesn't have a good reason to be synchronized with this parasitic oscillation. But we can fix this as well, and to do this, instead of using this setting which says starts after delay, which means that after a delay that we have here, we can also trigger the delay time base, and if we trigger it, it should trigger to our parasitic oscillation. Let's give it a try. So you can do this, and now we can carefully adjust the trigger level of the delay time base until we see our signal, and it's somewhere around here, and maybe if we make it faster we can see our parasitic oscillation. So I play with the settings some more, and here it is. It's very dim, but this scope has another trick up its sleeve, which is the analog storage. We can enable it, and I think this will bring out the parasitic oscillation. Yes, here it is. So this can highlight this issue in our signal using purely analog electronics. By the way, we can also increase the sensitivity to make this a little bit easier to see. Let's try this setting, for example. Now we have to adjust the trigger once again, and here it is. It's very dim, but it's there, and we can once again capture it with analog storage, and here it is. And now we can also measure the period and the frequency, and this happens to be at around 14 megahertz. Now let's explore the other settings that this delay time base has. So we can set it to A intensified, for example, and in this case this creates a highlight on our signal, which could be useful for screen captures, for example, which in the good old days you would do on film. Of course, you would have a film camera that mounts somewhere around here, and this is how you would do your screen captures. So now we are on A intensified, and since we are at full brightness we cannot see much, so let's reduce the brightness, something like that. Maybe we can reduce the secondary time base speed as well, and now we have a dot which can move onto the trace here, which highlights our trace in a small spot. And actually we can make the spot just a little bit wider or thinner by adjusting the speed of the secondary time base. So now, as you can see, the secondary time base, or the B time base, is slower, and this makes the highlight a lot wider. We can make it thinner by increasing the speed. I'm not sure how useful this is, but at least it looks fun. I don't know. Maybe it's useful for screen captures, as I said. And we can also do something else, which is to display the B delayed sweep only. And in this case it's barely visible, but it's there. And in some cases it could be useful at highlighting some issues with your signal, like those parasitic oscillations, but you have to be really patient to adjust it. So yeah, here it is. It's hard to see, but it's there. Once again, maybe we can increase the sensitivity to catch it. And by playing with the settings, I think we can eventually lock onto the oscillations, but it's pretty hard. Everything's very touchy when you increase the sensitivity. So yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. And yes, they're around here. So now we are only looking at the parasitic oscillations. And the final party trick of this oscilloscope and the delay time base is the ability to measure frequency using mostly analog electronics, assuming that you have the DM44 option. Now this module here is optional, some scopes don't have it, but if you do, then you can measure frequency and period with it. And to do this we have to select the 1/time option, and here we have to select the A intensified option. And now by reducing the brightness just a little bit, you can notice two highlighted areas on our signal in this case. So now these two highlights can be moved using this knob, which moves them together, and using this knob, which basically changes the distance between them. What you can do now is you can set the highlighted part on a peak, and then move this to the next peak, and then you can read the frequency right here, which is around 1.5 kilohertz. So when we are measuring frequency, if this LED turns on, we are measuring 1/milliseconds, which is basically kilohertz. And this is how you can measure frequency with it. And of course, by selecting the time option, you can measure the period as well, which is around 650 microseconds. Needless to say, all these things can be easily done using a digital scope. However, the fact that Tektronix pulled this off with mostly analog electronics is just amazing in my opinion. So to do this on a digital scope, in the case of my signal scope, to zoom in horizontally I have to press the Timebase knob, and then we can see two traces here, and we can adjust the so-called delayed Timebase on Tektronix, which is just a zoom functionality in here. And if we really zoom in, once again we can see the parasitic oscillations. However, this scope has a hard time triggering onto the secondary Timebase, or whatever you want to call it. But it doesn't matter all that much, because since this is digital, we can always stop it, and then we can enable some cursors, and using the cursors we can easily measure the period of this signal. So the period is around 74 nanoseconds, which means that the frequency is around 13.5 megahertz. However, don't forget that on this scope we measured the parasitic oscillation, and on the previous one we measured the fundamental. So we are looking at different things here. So that's about it. Please let me know in the comments if you knew all these things about the delayed Timebase of Tektronix oscilloscopes. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're interested in more content related to electronics and programming, please subscribe to this channel, because there is more content like this on the way. Also, don't forget that you can support Void Electronics by giving me a super thanks, or by joining the channel with a monthly subscription, which gives you early access to my videos. That's all for now. Bye.